Hi there, I've just bought my first set of Lightroom presets, and in this video I'm going to try and explain why I've bought them. As an experienced Lightroom user of 10 years or more, why would I want to buy presets at this point in my photography journey? Whether the presets met my need, and have I learnt anything in the process? My name's Keith Mason, and on this channel I offer tips and ideas about what I have learnt as I progress as a photographer, and which may offer you some ideas to improve your own photography. I also hope to give you some inspiration about getting out and developing as a photographer. So when I first got into digital photography and I started using Lightroom and Photoshop, I started really taking more attention to how other photographers styled and developed their photographs. I really didn't know what I was trying to achieve with my photographs, and consequently, if I liked the look of somebody else's picture, I wanted to understand how to get that. This is about the same time that Hipstagram, if you're old enough to remember that, and then Instagram, and then subsequently Snapchat started offering filters on your pictures. So all of a sudden you could get a style that worked very easily. And really presets work in a similar sort of way, but it's working in a non-destructive way in Lightroom on your photographs to adjust all of the settings that are there. And if you don't know anything about how to play with any of the settings, I've got a whole range of Lightroom sort of tutorials called Lightroom 101, which I'll link here. And essentially, and I was really attracted to a particular photographer called Linda Scannel, who I really liked her style of work, and I contacted her. We've subsequently become friends, but she shared with me a preset for one of her particular styles, and so she was far ahead of me. And I put it into Lightroom, and I liked working with it, but what I took out of it was how she had achieved that look. And it didn't really work with some of my photographs, but I started adjusting her preset into styles that worked better for me. This is Linda's preset that she sent me a long time ago, and I really liked it, but I sort of adjusted it and changed it, and it became something that I've used in many of my photographs, particularly around weddings, and I call it my Paris yellow pastel style. And I've used that a lot, and it's a combination of the tone curve, and particularly color grading, and it was something that I learnt through that. So with Linda's preset, I sort of deconstructed it and learnt how to improve my, and I learnt how to try and develop my own particular style, which I could then save as a preset. So imagine you've been stuck under a rock and you don't know anything about Lightroom. On the left-hand panel here, there is a whole bunch of presets that Lightroom gives you as part of the package. You can also create your own presets, and that's very easy. And here you can see I've created many over quite a long period of time. Or you can also download and use somebody else's presets. And that's exactly what I did here. I got an advert on Facebook, or Meta as it's called this week, and it was offering a look for rustic autumn pictures. And this sort of set here, which looked sort of a sort of desaturated, darker, sort of muted colours, muted tones, with blues and greens, is something that I like very much. It's very similar to a style of a landscape photographer. I really like their work, Martin Evans, and I'll put a link to his channel over to his Instagram. I don't think he has a Lightroom. I don't think he has a YouTube channel, but I'll put a link to his Instagram. And as much as I try and get this particular style on my own photographs, I just can't do it. So I bought the package, it downloaded, it's very easy to put into Lightroom. So here is it, it comes down as a zip file, it expands, and then I've put it in my user preset set in my Dropbox. Oops, let's pull that across better. And then in Lightroom you can import, develop profiles and presets. So I got it in very easy, and there it is, you can see, and there is a bunch of different presets. So let's talk about presets. So the first reason that I would create a preset, the first reason why you might want to use a preset is that so that once you've developed a particular edit for a particular picture, you might want to save that so you can use it again later. So for example, over here you've got a picture which I took a couple of years ago at a ballet, and you can see it's very dark and that, but I developed a preset at the end of editing this particular picture, and so now I've got it, I can press the preset and I've got that finished edit. So because it took quite a long time to try and develop this particular edit, because it was quite complicated, lighting, etc., I stored it so that maybe I can use it again later. For that, which brings me to the second reason for having presets, is that it cuts editing time. So I use my presets as a starting point to launch into an edit. So if I'm faced with a similar set of sort of snowy style conditions again, I might use this preset to start off with that edit. And I used that preset when I edited this bluebells picture of bluebells, which I took last year. And you can see here, the first thing that I did was, from the original picture, I used this preset as a launch pad for the edits that I then went on to use. And you can see I've done an awful lot of editing thereafter, but we got to a final edit here which I was happy with, but it cut me a lot of time by using the preset. The third reason for using presets is to do with creating consistent style. Now, I mentioned Martin Evans earlier, and I'm going to show you his Instagram page, and you can see that his feed is very, very consistent in style. So if you're really interested in trying to create a consistent style, once you've achieved it, you can use your presets to create that on all of your images. I don't do that, but what I do is use it to create a consistent style for a set of pictures, and that's particularly around weddings or theatrical shows. So here I want to try and put my own stamp on the pictures. So by using a preset that I have created, I know that my pictures won't look like anybody else's. And secondly, it's going to be consistent throughout a particular event, particularly a wedding. So I don't want one wedding to look totally exactly the same as the next. So creating a special preset for a particular wedding is a way forward. The fourth reason for using presets is to recreate a feel that I had from an earlier picture. And so once you've got a preset, that you can use it to try and recreate the feel that you got, and that really depends on light and color in a particular picture, but it can be used as a launch pad. The fifth reason for using it is if you're not entirely sure how a particular picture might be processed, it's a good starting point. You can sample through the different presets that you have to try and understand what might work for a particular picture and what might not. And so if I really don't know how to edit a picture, I might do that as a starting point. So let's go back to those rustic autumnal pictures. and the reason why I bought this preset. So I've pulled in a picture that I took in January, so not exactly autumnal, from last year, and it was a bit overexposed, so I'm going to bring that down a bit. And I'm going to look at the presets that were offered by Rustic Autumn, and were any of them what I was trying to achieve. And I've got to be honest, as I went through and I scrolled through, I didn't particularly warm to any of the pictures, any of the styles that it was offering. And I think in the end, the one that I liked the best was this one here. And what I was able to do is then to tease through the different edits that were already included in the preset to understand how that look is achieved. And so when I was going through the various presets that came through, there was a lot that were that had reduced saturation. So here, this one's got saturation -10, although a lot of vibrance in it. This one, again, -10. So that look partly is a desaturated sort of look. And then this particular set of looks were really created by using the HSL sliders. So there was changes in hue, in saturation. As I said, it's quite a desaturated look, and luminescence of particular tones. So here, the yellows are brought further down. And the other thing that these presets are using is a lot of color grading. And so here, those blues and greens in the highlights and the shadows are used. And overall, after a bit of playing with it, I ended up with an edit for this picture that looked like this. And this is using Rustic Autumn 2. And I quite like it. But then I looked back on the pictures that I had edited earlier, and I came across a picture which I've not shared before, and it's this one, and I really quite like it. And what I've done is, again, I've used some color grading. I've done some work on the HSL, so sort of similar sort of editing style, but sort of slightly different. And I haven't reduced it, I haven't desaturated much. And potentially I could, but I haven't. And so I've used this. I've created my own Rustic Autumn preset, and I've used it on this picture. And so I'm using my own Rustic Autumn number 3. And here I'm going to return the white balance to where it was and just bring down the exposure. And to my mind, I'm happier with my edit than the one that was delivered by the preset. So am I fed up that I bought the presets? No, because I've learned something in how to create that particular style. So I feel like I've won. So in conclusion, use presets to capture your own style, develop your own style, develop your consistent style, and apply it through new photo shoots in the future. And secondly, to use other people's to learn how to enhance your own editing. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Maybe think about subscribing. And I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks very much for watching, and bye for now.